come from the Pearl group, which is opened in the month of January in 2021. So we have many members. So I want to converse with you regarding the recent loss you have incurred, both your father and mother. I am Pranab Bosu and I counsel the terminal cancer patients and caregivers. I am passionate advocate of palliative care, which is for providing comfort to the patients. And now, today, I think we have a sweet conversation with you too, and which will inspire others who are on the journey of caregiving and in the process of bereavement. So please, you introduce yourself and then see. Just introduce yourself.
I am Chandrima Majumdar, daughter of Mr. Tapan Kumar Roy and Mrs. Shivani Roy.
I am Arunima Mukherjee and I am the elder daughter of Mr. Tapan Kumar Roy, my father, and mother, Mrs. Shivani Roy.
Now, you both are the primary caregivers for your mother and your father, and they are very close to us, to me also, and to us, to the residents of Santikuti apartment. I think both are the umbrella, big umbrella for Santikuti residents. And we have lost, we are in grief. So just through discussion, through conversation, I will just ask a few questions which you please. What was your first mental reaction on hearing the diagnosis of your mother with cancer, which is called breaking the news? The first reaction.
The first reaction was that it was not shocking, because every person, some or the other time, they fall sick. So I won't call it a shocking news, but because she was my mother, it was painful.
It was painful, right? You are. Right,
so shocking, like it was painful that why my mother? And
no. Okay, you are right. But cancer, the big C, is a fear to all. So you have the positivity, I think. So you are not telling that shocking, but
it was painful. But we also accepted that no, even if she, like, it is my mother, she is not the first one to get this disease. There have been many persons before her. So it is not the end of her life. So we should fight and we should give her all the happiness.
Very good, very good. Second, you both were the dedicated caregivers with compassionate heart. You have compassionate heart, that I observed. Leaving your own family, one in Delhi and one in Kolkata. But how did you manage leaving your family in Delhi?
Should I answer that?
Yeah.
I stay in Delhi and my family family was very supportive from the very beginning, because they understood the severity of the disease and the lengthy treatment period that it requires, and also the fact that we don't have a brother, we are both sisters. So my in-laws also understood, my husband understood the fact that we have to be here by our parents in this hour of need. That was one very big understanding on their part. The second thing that helped me to stay here for a period of almost 2 years with a few breaks in between was the fact that there was Corona, COVID restrictions at that time, and everything was happening online. So my child was having online schools, my husband was working online from home. So that in a way helped me, which is why I could stay on with my mother, because there were travel restrictions, so I couldn't even think of coming and going from Delhi and Kolkata too frequently for the fear of catching the infection and passing it on to my family members on both ends. So I preferred, it was safer and it was convenient for me and for my family also that I stayed here and didn't put anybody at risk. That happened for the whole of 2021. That helped me. In 2022, of course, I came and went in between, and by that time my mother had gone already, completed her chemotherapy and radiation courses, and she was more or less on oral chemo. So she was home. She was not in and out of hospitals. So that was the period when my father was also with her and my sister used to come and frequent. So that was the time when I used to come and go between Calcutta and Delhi. Of course, everybody had to make adjustments. It was not very difficult. Even then it was not very difficult, for the simple reason that everybody in the family realized the severity of the situation.
Everybody was cooperating.
Yes, everybody.
There is a big salute from our group to your family members.
That is true. That they deserve. They fully deserve it.
And you? How did you manage?
Manage, it was, we didn't have to manage because everything came from the heart. Like all the family members, there was, management comes when there is
some crisis
or anybody is not willing to participate, then you have to manage. But there was no crisis. Nobody felt it was a crisis. Everybody felt that we should be by her side. So everybody was willing.
And one thing you tell me, whether your mother was under palliative care at the end or not?
Yes.
Yes, she
No,
was.
palliative care we started from the very beginning.
Very good.
We started from the very beginning because we felt that only medicines and these
That
invasive
means-
kind of treatment.
That means you are telling that palliative care provided her comfort and peace.
Actually, let me just add one thing. We came to know about palliative care from you only. Before that, we didn't know that there is something called palliative care, which
No,
is
we didn't know by definition.
By definition, that's true.
We
By
didn't know by
definition. But from the very beginning, actually, my mother is a great palliative caregiver herself. For example, whenever any of us was sick, like brief illnesses that we have, so she and my father also do not believe in only administering medicines. Though my father worked for a medicine company, he did not, from the very beginning, he did not believe in only administering medicines and curing somebody. He would always sit by our side, read stories to us when we were, as children, when we fell sick. Even if we had a little fever or a stomach upset, my mother would play the most favorite songs that we liked as children. So they did it unknowingly. Now you have a word for that, palliative care. So when my mother was sick and we came to know about this other form of treatment, I think we were already doing that, and my mother was already doing it on herself before we did it, because she was very spiritually inclined. She loved reading books. She loved embroidering and stitching. So she kept herself busy. She did not for a day consider herself
As a
as a
patient.
patient.
She had indomitable spirit, I think.
So even before we think of giving her palliative care, I think she was giving it to herself.
Yeah.
Listening to good music.
That's right.
Cooking for my father, doing her puja, offering flowers to the home deities from her own little balcony garden. I mean, all this.
No, she kept herself engaged.
My respect to your mother. Lot.
I think it was mutual. She also respected you a lot. Regarded it was a very mutual.
Yeah, it was mutual.
And very close. We were very close actually. The bonding with our family.
Every good relationship should be reciprocal.
When you admitted your father for cardiac failure and doctors diagnosed that acute renal failure, just at that moment, what was your mental condition?
I was very shaken. Honestly, I was very shaken. And I almost felt as if he is saying all this for some other person. I mean, I that thing didn't really register that he's saying all this for my father. I was just listening to it, and I had some subconscious thing going on in my mind that, this is probably for somebody else, not for my father. It was not easy to hear. The doctor was rather open about it, and because my father walked into the hospital literally, he was not grieving, ailing, he was not very sick, or
No, mentally he was very
apparently
well.
he was not very sick. So we were definitely not prepared to hear that his heart is not working, his kidney is not working, his lungs are in any case not working. So it came as a shock. I was shaken.
It's natural. Just after 2 months, 5 days, after passing or losing your mother, you both have lost your father. So this is not desirable. But how now you are in bereavement, now you are in grief. So grief is everlasting. Grief will not end. But how will your mind say whether it is anger, whether it is denial, whether it is acceptance that we have to accept the reality? What is that?
Would you like to answer?
I have accepted the fact that I was also ready, because it is God's will. Everything is in the hands of God. We have no control over these things. So we should not bother ourselves mentally. So I think that it was God's will, and they passed peacefully. Their death was in peace, because if somebody dies in accident or it's a very sudden death, then the trauma is all the more. But we were mentally prepared. We were mentally prepared, and we got a lot of time to be with our parents. So it was a gradual acceptance of the fact that they'll not be with us. But
they will be with us.
They will always be with us.
Present in absence.
No, they are physically not with us.
Physically not, but they will be.
With their values, with whatever love they have given us, all that is with us, and that will be passed on. So physically they are not with us, but every time we are feeling that they are with us. So we have accepted it, that it was God's will, and this is beyond our control. Even if a person is very healthy,
I sort of give this consolation to myself that when my mother died, of course I was very worried for my father's well-being. since he would be alone.
Left alone.
Though he would have eventually shifted either with my elder sister's family or with my family. We wouldn't have left him alone. But the constant thought at the back of our minds would be about his companionship, that vacuum that was left by my mother's departure. So, in a way, when he passed away so quickly after she left, I have consoled myself with the simple thought that they are both together and he's in a better place.
Right.
Since my father was much older, he was 9 years older to my mother, so he was 85 and not keeping too well, and we could see that after her demise he was sort of heartbroken and he missed her. So in a way, now that they are both together, it gives me some peace, it gives me some consolation.
I agree to your opinion. This is right.
For them, I mean, when I
For
think
them.
of them, then I feel that whatever God has decided is best for them.
And this
Of
is-
course,
and this
we are left parentless right now, but at least we have the two of us together. We are there for each other, and
Now
the
that
fact
is the best gift they
yes,
have given.
they have given us, and
The
the fact
companionship of
that
two
we
sisters.
could be with our parents till the very end gives me a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Just like Didi
Yeah.
said, that
This
we
is-
could be there till the very end. We could. I mean,
Because
I
many
was,
children, they don't get that opportunity
they don't get the
to
opportunity.
be with their parents.
I mean, I used to be perpetually in fear of losing my parent when I was in Delhi.
Delhi.
Because
Right.
I knew that my mother's case was a terminal case and she could go any time. The doctors
Yeah.
had said 1.5 years and it was already over and above 1.5 years. So I was constantly, with that thought that maybe I may not be there when she leaves. So thankfully I was there, and during my father's time also I was very much there. I mean, I took his hand on my head, and when he left, I was there. So I can't ask for more.
Uh,
I can't ask for more, at least out of this situation. It could have been much more crueler, it could have been much more painful for them, it could have been much more traumatic for us. Maybe we were caught in some situation where we couldn't just leave our families, or whatever. It could have been the corona situation again, where we
Now
might
God
have
was
been-
with us.
So at least we were there together. So out of this situation, I couldn't have asked for more.
And I think you are also satisfied that they have not suffered the horrendous pain for long period.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
I
in my
think
mother's
so.
case, it was maybe 2 days of suffering.
Just 2 days.
And even in my father's case, it was not more than 2 days. They were eating, talking.
So
they were.
this is miracle.
Yes.
This is miracle. And this is the part of healing to your mind, your grief. That at least they have not suffered a
For a
long
long time.
process of pain,
Absolutely.
which the cancer patient
They generally do.
generally.
Absolutely.
So it was
Because
a great blessing.
We have heard horror stories. We have heard.
No, we have seen with our own eyes, because we have been taking her
Yeah.
to the hospital. So many patients, they used to come, very younger patients. My mother was 75, but we used to feel the pain when we used to see little children, infants, coming with
Blood
terrific.
cancer,
uh,
whatnot.
So
Brain
that
cancer.
gave us a lot of pain. Then we used to console ourselves, and my mother also. She was happy in the sense, she used to tell us that okay, these children they have just entered this world and they are getting, they are facing so much of pain and suffering. But God gave me so much of time, and now it is my time to go. So God has chosen this way. So there is a way
At
to
least
go. So
she was happy that she had led a full life,
she has led a full life,
which many
and-
cancer patients don't get.
Oh, chance.
And she got that.
And-
My father was happy with the fact that he was able to give her treatment, because it comes with a huge cost. So he was happy for the fact that at least he could provide for the finances. He was very happy with that fact that we could take her to Tata Medical, which is a very reputed hospital. So at least, I mean, all those things are just, little consolations.
When I saw your mother just 1 month or 2 months before, in August, 15th August, on the roof of the flat, she sang a song, she was there, enjoyed. Nobody will tell that she is a terminal cancer patient. So I observed that she had indomitable spirit and willpower.
Absolutely.
And another
So did
thing-
my father.
Yeah.
He was like a rock of Gibraltar
Yeah.
for all of us.
Actually.
Because we did not see him once breaking down or
No,
even
no.
hyperventilating or having any doubts about my mother's well-being or raising any questions about the treatment. He had absolute faith on the hospital, on the doctors, on us, on neighbors, on my mother's health and her spirit. He had total faith, which was a great backbone for us.
Really.
Because even if for once if we saw our father breaking down, all of us would have been breaking down.
Actually, I do respect your father and mother very much. And not only I, the residents of Santikoti, everybody respects. And I think today's conversation is a great tribute to your parents,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
No, they also got a lot of love from the residents here.
I
It
know.
is both ways.
Both.
The
They-
doctors
they
had said
also-
a year and a half for my mother, but I think she managed for almost 2 years, and that is a result of sheer love and affection showered by everybody around her. Her neighbors who were constantly inquiring on her, who were constantly bringing her some food which she enjoyed, or they would come and just sit and chat with her occasionally, come and share some gossip. Because my mother was a very mentally active, vibrant person. So she
Yeah.
enjoyed everything. She enjoyed gossip, she enjoyed spiritual talk, she enjoyed the television, she enjoyed reading books. So the residents of Shanti Kutir, they ensured that there was somebody calling on her from time to time, whether it was just for a cup of tea or maybe just for her medicines or whatever, for whatever little reason it may be. They continuously kept inquiring on her, which was a source of great joy and peace for her. I mean, she was not alone. She never felt that she's alone in this battle.
You both are to me more than appreciation. I will not say so, but your sharing today, I think it means a lot. Thank you very much for, because thanks, why, yesterday only your father's ritual ended. Go to work. And today you have given me time to share your journey. This is really praiseworthy, commendable.
I mean, we should actually be thanking you for giving us
This
this opportunity to
opportunity.
relive all
Ah.
those things, and of course this is, I think, the perfect time to share and talk about them. Now all we can do is talk about them and remember
Only
all the
sweet
good
memories
things.
Yeah,
are-
remember
So
also
you gave
the
us a
good things,
wonderful-
sweet memories.
Absolutely.
And these sweet memories will heal your brain.
Yes. True.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.